For 22-year-old German Anton Morgenstern, day 6 and 7 accumulation has taken on an accelerated pace.
Right now, I'm just in shock. Like, I didn't really expect it. My goal was to run deep in the tournament and win a bracelet, but it's always different when it actually happens.
With momentum and a huge stack, this might be Morgenstern's tournament to lose.
Seriously playing that without it? Yeah. What's that, crazy? What country are you from? Germany. It just might be.
Right now on my table, I'm feeling really happy because I'm winning pots and people are scared to bust out, and I think I have good momentum on the table right now.
Sure, there are very real obstacles in J.C. Tran, Carlos Mortensen, and others, but none have the ammunition that Morgenstern has.
I'm definitely in a good position right now. I'm still the chip leader. Nobody on my table is really somebody I'm intimidated by.
Day 7 of the main event continues with Anton Morgenstern leading the way.
Texas Dolly Brunson, who wrote the book.
He's moving in for the kill.
And there it is. Helmuth wins the championship.
Moneymaker puts his name amongst the greatest players in the game.
Wake me now.
Greg Merson is the main event champion.
Biggest day of my life.
Main event, day 7.
Welcome back to the Rio in Las Vegas, the World Series of Poker main event nearing its conclusion. So much at stake right now for the competitors and their rails. $8.3 million for first. I'm Lon McCarron with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. Texan James Alexander in position for the final table.
Born in McAllen, lives in Edinburgh. He's trying to put the Texas back in No Limit Texas Hold'em.
We followed 0-1 main event champ Carlos Mortensen from the start, and he's still here.
Why wouldn't he still be here? He booked the Rio for 7 nights, and he doesn't want to get charged for early checkout.
Former investment banker Chris Lynn currently in second.
If he wins the main event, he could open the Bank of Linsanity.
21 players remaining in the field. 3 tables of 7 on top. 22-year-old German Anton Morgenstern stacked at $24.5 million.
Two-time bracelet winner J.C. Tran in 4th, making the best of his 6th main event cash.
Places 10 through 18 trying to work their way into the final 9, including David Benefield.
This is his 2nd top 100 main event finish. Same goes for the 2-time bracelet winner Rep Porter.
The bottom 3 with some work to do, especially Ryan Reese, the beast.
And there's the other bracelet winner left in the field, Amir Lehevat.
There's the chip leader, Anton Morgenstern. His rise to the top has caught everyone off guard.
He should be called Anton Morgenstern, the beast. But, well, it really doesn't rhyme.
You friends with Brandon Crawford?
Yeah.
He just tweeted me and said, "You two play nice now." I guess he probably tweeted both of us. Yeah, I think he did.
I haven't checked my phone.
Mark Newhouse and Jay Farber with some small talk on this very big stage. A lot of chips at this featured table, but Farber under 40 big blinds.
Clearly, he hits the gym a lot. Time to give his chips a workout.
Frenchman Sylvain Loosely has the 2nd biggest stack behind Morgenstern.
The key there behind Morgenstern. Loosely should be content to play tight. He's got a monster to his left.
3 chip denominations in play currently. The most active chip, the 100K Lavender, a stack of 20 of those worth $2 million. Loosely looks down at pocket aces. 26-year-old French pro with a raise to 325. Morgenstern now on the button, the chip leader. 8-7 off.
He's been experimenting with different diets, vegan for a while. Then he went to a plant-heavy diet with some juicing. And now it's a steady diet of super aggro play on the button.
Just started playing live poker a couple of years ago. A re-raise to 850 from Morgenstern. Back to Loosely now as the blinds fold.
I warned Sylvain about Anton, but he has the proper tools to deal with the big stack bully in this hand.
Raise 1.8.
And he says re-raise. He makes it $1.8 million. We talk often about shifting fortunes when big hand meets big hand. This is just big hand versus 8-7.
And of course, Anton could just take his 850,000 chip loss and move on with his other 23 million chips.
Morgenstern is not moving on. A lot of those lavender chips, Norman. Wow. He re-pops it to 3.8 million.
Lon, it takes a special maniacal chip leader to 5-bet with 8-7 off. I think we're safe here, Lon, but we might want to see cover.
Good morning.
With the aces, Loosely says all in. And Morgenstern has to give it up. Lucy with a huge pot. The bad timing award already been decided for this hour.
This guy's got a different way of saying folding every hand.
Who?
Your boy.
If Anton does that 5 more times, goodbye.
Big stack's got to play bully, but sometimes they get caught. 7 players also at our secondary table, ranging from Chris Lynn's $17 million to Ryan Reese's short stack of $2.5 million. Carlos Mortensen looking for a second main event title. Folds to Canadian poker player, restaurant owner Alex Livingston with pocket 5s.
Yeah, he owns a pizzeria in Toronto called North of Brooklyn. Says it's a hipster-type place, which is his way of telling me not to come.
And that raise to 320 is almost 10% of Livingston's short stack. Now on Bruno Kawauch from Brazil, ace-10. Kawauch starting the hand with $9.3 million.
Well, he didn't come all the way from Brazil to play ace-10 off.
I guess not. Folded to the button. And there is Chris Lind with 2 black 7s.
Chris calls himself a professional clubber. And even with these grueling poker days here at the main event, he's been going out afterward. I would not recommend that.
He re-raises to $530,000.
I guess when you're young, you can do anything you want. But Lynn's 30 now, Lon. I'm told that's not young anymore.
Yeah, turned 30 just before the World Series. He's got to slow down. Sergio Castelluccio in the big blind, ace-5 off.
I don't think Castelluccio came all the way from Italy to play ace-5 off.
Nope, folded back to Livingston with a pocket 5s. And pretty short stack, but he just makes the call with the lesser pocket pair. So a big stack versus a short stack. Jack, ace, jack. Status quo after that flop. Livingston, second best. He checks.
I believe Chris Lind is trying out for the Pro Beach Volleyball Tour when this event is over.
He does have that look, doesn't he? Lind. That's $680,000 with his pair of 7s.
Small in.
And look at this. Livingston check raises all in, and he gets Lind to fold.
Wow, it was risky, but the check raise shove works for Alex Livingston.
Wow. Livingston gets the big stack to back down. But Lind still with the big stack after that, still with 100 big blinds.
Nice hand. Thank you.
Raising all in and winning beats selling $20 pizzas to a bunch of hipsters.
In the first 2 hands tonight, we've seen the 2 top stacks lose chips. In the case of Anton Morgenstern, a classic case of chip leader stubbornness. Yes, that aggression is what got him here, but at some point, Norman, you have to ease off the gas, no?
Well, my father's first rule of driving is always make the other guy brake. Anton Morgenstern is probably used to the Autobahn, so he doesn't ease off the gas either. In fact, full speed ahead got him here, and maybe full speed ahead will take him all the way. But as someone who doesn't mind going 45 when the speed limit's 65, I would tell Anton he might want to change gears on occasion to reach poker's ultimate destination.
You know, get knocked out now, you still walk away with 285 grand, but there are huge pay raises ahead for those who find a way to hang on, including the top prize of $8.3 million. Sylvain Loosely at our feature table, ace-4.
It's a weak ace. Don't waste our time.
He's got over $1 million in online earnings. I'm not sure he got there with a weak ace. 325 is the raise. Morgenstern with pocket 8s.
Morgenstern plays like a maniac, but he seems like he's just sitting at Walden Pond contemplating his navel.
Re-raise to 850 with the 8s. Now Newhouse with ace-queen in the big blind.
182nd at the 2011 main event.
I'm all in.
And Mark shoves his whole stack, almost $5.5 million with ace-queen.
Newhouse pushing with 35 big blinds left. And I told the weak ace not to waste our time.
The weak ace folds. Now Morgenstern with the pocket 8s.
Anton is almost never up against a smaller pair here. So the question is, if he's flipping, is it worth $4.6 million more? That's a big number.
Okay.
Morgenstern will try to send Newhouse to the showers.
Okay.
Mark with the ace-queen, Morgenstern with the 8s.
Newhouse was all in with ace-deuce against Jay Farber's pocket 9s earlier on day 7. In better shape this time, but behind and needing help again.
Here's the flop and a queen for Newhouse to take a huge step towards survival.
And Newhouse nodded at that flop because he knew the queen was coming, Lon.
Oh, boy. Now Morgenstern less concerned with the knockout, more focused on his suddenly evaporating chip stack. 7 on the turn keeps Newhouse ahead.
They wore a black 3 across when he has 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, I know. He's got 2 black 3s.
Morgenstern needs an 8 to knock out Mark Newhouse.
The river card, another 7. A nice double up for Newhouse, who now sits with more than 11 million. On the other side of that coin, Anton Morgenstern, whose stack has been depleted by almost 10 million chips in just 2 hands. So as the star of Morgenstern begins to fall, Mark Newhouse picks up the pieces. Newhouse now into 7th place after a win with ace-queen. The 2013 World Series of Poker is brought to you by World Series of Poker Full House Pro on Xbox 360. Download poker's most authentic experience free on Xbox Live Arcade today. That is the bracelet everyone talks about. It comes with $8.3 million and legend status in the poker world. At the only outer table, James Alexander under the hat, under the gun, raised it up with 10-9. It's come around to Max XX Coleman with Queen 10 suited, and he has made the call. Here's the flop. Queen King 8. Coleman with a pair of queens. Alexander a gut shot. Alexander and Coleman both check to see the 5 on the turn. Coleman still best. He checks, as does Alexander. River is a jack. Alexander gets a free ride and hits pay dirt with a straight.
The 23-year-old Wichita pro has checked his way into the jaws of defeat.
2 main event rookies enjoying a very deep run here. And that's a bet of 340 from Coleman.
Well, Coleman checked twice and let Alexander get there, and now Coleman bets. He could be Norman Chad's School of Poker material.
Yeah, I don't think second pair is going to cut it.
900.
Raise to 900,000.
Alexander looks more confident than Coleman at the moment. Now, I have a deep understanding of the human condition, Lon.
That's why we pay you the big bucks. Max Coleman. Oh, chips in hand, but those are just worth 5K each. Uses nice hand. He wisely retreats. Alexander will accept the winnings.
Coleman knows Alexander is basically never bluffing there.
James up to 14.2 million. We've learned a lot about this Texan throughout the main event, so we decided to learn a little more about his bar in the Lone Star State.
What is a flying walrus? I have no clue. When we settled on Flying Walrus, the main reason we did it, just saying the name, it evokes a smile and conversation. The reason I opened a bar is because I didn't know better. Shouldn't open a bar and talk anybody out of it. But I think it's very much who I am. I like to mingle with people. I like to talk. I like to keep things interesting. That was my brother.
James Alexander is a beast. When he gets involved with something like he did here with the Flying Walrus, he's gonna put his entire mind, his entire heart, and everything he's got into this business.
My brother was very supportive. If you need something, he's there. He's gonna help you out. He's gonna get involved. He's a great guy.
Through my entire life, I never did a whole lot right, but I did save whatever little bit of money I could, so I took what I had saved up and I put it into this bar to put in with James. And what he's done for me has been amazing.
My brother got 109th in his first try in the World Series.
And Alexander will take that pot. And Alexander shows his kings.
I'm not always bluffing.
He had everybody and their mother rooting him on.
Between James and I, it's hard to say who the better poker player is.
I am blessed to have a very good family. We all care about each other. I'm blessed in every sense of the word.
James' regular home game included his brother Dwayne, 2012 Octo-Niner Rob Salaburo, and 2006 main event final tables Richard Lee. Basically, in that home game, if you don't make a deep run in the main event, you're the fish.
At the secondary table, Mark-Etienne McLaughlin just re-raised Carlos Mortensen. The Canadian McLaughlin is the one dominated here, though, with his queen-jack against Mortensen's king-queen.
Carlos, the only player to win the World Series main event and the WPT championship.
Carlos has that main event championship and a limit hold'em bracelet here at the World Series, and he's going to call for 460 more. And it's McLaughlin in need of help on the flop here. And the flop is 6 ace queen. Carlos's kicker keeps the advantage with him. Carlos checks.
McLaughlin 30th at the 09 main event, 86th at the 2011 main event, and now a top 25 finish. My goodness.
No hearts in that flop for McLaughlin, who bet 710,000.
I've got to say, if he's the matador, he ought to wear bolder colors.
Exactly. You have to attract the danger to you. That's how they live. That's how their blood rushes through their veins. There's a call. Turn card now. Mortensen Big advantage. Some chop possibilities, though, as you see by the percentages. 5 of spades on the turn. Carlos checks again. French-Canadian checks as well. River card, 8 of spades. Carlos's hand is best. But they're wary of that ace, it seems. There's a check again.
Why don't they just open a check gift shop? I don't know why they have chips. No one's betting.
Neither can be too comfortable with their holdings. Check. Mortensen will take it with the king kicker.
That hand is already out of my headline. I've erased it from my memory bank.
Carlos Mortensen upping his stack to over $9 million now after taking some chips from Mark-Etienne McLaughlin, the bigger stack. McLaughlin read it well, but for Carlos, even a small pot worth a lot here on day 7. A unique perspective of the Las Vegas Strip. Back inside at the outer table, David Benefield enjoying his 13th World Series cash. He just turned kings up to overtake Ohio poker pro Matt Reed's pair of aces. Reed checked the turn. Benefield with a bet of $900,000.
Benefield was winning $300 to $400 a day online as a freshman at TCU.
I believe they are the Horned Frogs.
You don't know anything. He dropped out, eventually returned to TCU, but then left again, moved to Las Vegas for a while, and now he's at Columbia University studying political science and Chinese.
Reed with top pair, which is no good, does make the call. Reed started the hand with almost twice the stack of Benefield. River card, deuce of spades brings a 3rd spade to the playing field.
Benefield 73rd at the 2008 main event. Reed 89th at the 2010 main event.
Reed checks.
Benefield's been nursing a short stack all of day 7.
Come on.
David now looking for the instant double up.
You're going to do that?
I didn't know he was going to do that. I never know anything. Well, at this stage of the main event, these guys have played with each other for a while. It becomes so much about the read you have on your opponent.
6 in there.
Matt Reed in fold mode. Yeah, he gives it up. And that is a good pot for David Benefield now.
Yeah, Benefield now pretty much even stacked with Reed.
Yeah, David now up to $5.5 million, 34 big blinds, very workable for that pro. For this pro, $5.6 million, trying to turn his fortunes around. Let's go down right now to Kara Scott for a report on the man also known as Raptor 517.
David Benefield started day 7 at the very bottom of the chip counts, but as we're losing players, he's still in the mix and working his way up out of the danger zone. David is an online poker legend who actually gave up playing full-time in order to become a kind of modern-day Renaissance man. He's exploring other parts of life like coaching baseball, learning Mandarin, he's investing in startups, and he's gone back to school to study a wide variety of topics. And as such a well-respected figure in online poker, it's no surprise that he's also an executive producer on a new documentary feature film called Bet Raise Fold, celebrating the roller coaster ride of the online poker boom.
Boom is not the word we would use to describe this hour of Anton Morgenstern's poker life. He's taken some serious blows to his chip stack here with ace-jack of clubs, a raise to 325.
The name of Anton's poker movie is just Raise.
Exactly. Mark Newhouse on the button with pocket deuces makes the call. J.C. Tran in the big blind folds, as does McKeel Brimmelhouse.
With Morgenstern spewing chips, no reason for Newhouse not to play a pot against him in position.
These two clashing again. Here's the flop. Oh my goodness! Deuces full for Newhouse, while Morgenstern flops trip aces.
That's a flop like they used to make them, Lon, before everything got digitized.
No slow play from Morgenstern with his trips, 425.
Yeah, if you're Anton, nobody ever thinks you have a hand, so when he does have a hand, he's going to push with it.
But Newhouse has the hammer with a full boat.
Yeah, and if Newhouse knew Anton had an ace, he'd be twerking at the table.
Newhouse has had Morgenstern's number today. This could get very, very ugly. Just a call from Newhouse. Turn card, Tray of Hearts. No threat really to Morgenstern's hand. From his mind, at least. He continues to lead out, and why not? 750.
Newhouse loves it, and he's wondering how to proceed to get the most chips out of this pot.
Mark Newhouse with the flop of his main event. And now he pounces, a raise to $2 million.
Newhouse waits no longer, and boy, he's got Morgenstern with the perfect hand to carry on and lose more chips.
Anton wondering why would Newhouse raise here? Maybe a stronger ace, but that's unlikely. And it looks like he sees no good reason for that raise as he re-raises to $3.9 million.
This pot is swelling, and we're not nearly done yet.
Friends of Mark Newhouse wondering what their man has gotten himself into here. But Newhouse certainly knows. How much more can he get from Anton?
All in.
He says all in.
Well, now alarms have to go off in Anton's head. Newhouse willing to risk it all? What can Anton beat? And a call here would be for more than half of Anton's remaining stack.
And a call it is. And a stunning turn of events, one card from reality.
No emotion from Anton, but he's got to be dazed and distressed. Morgenstern can still bust Newhouse here with an ace, jack, or 3.
But Newhouse one card from 22 million chips and the main event lead. The river card, the 4 of clubs. Newhouse completes another double up through Morgenstern.
But Morgenstern had 29 million chips earlier on day 7. He now has 5 million, and Newhouse now has the most chips in the room.
What'd you say about this guy?
Mark Newhouse cannot contain his excitement. He's got to get out of his seat, as does Morgenstern, now one of the short stacks here on day 7.
Ich habe so hart verbauert, ey. Ich wollte, wie kann das denn passieren?
Mark Newhouse, the main event chip leader.
I know, what is he doing?
Kann ja nicht mal warten, dass ich AK so spiele, oder?
I thought I might be behind. I thought he might have ace-3.
The word epic is overused, but Morgenstern's collapse is reaching epic proportions. Mark Newhouse, your new main event chip leader.
I know, what's he doing? I thought I might be behind.
Mark Newhouse's chip stack looking a little different now. He seems primed for a spot at the November 9. At the secondary feature table, one player now trying to catch Newhouse is Mark-Etienne McLaughlin, who started taking risks at a young age.
Since I was a little kid, I'll already start gamble, playing with other kids. We gamble any stuffs, and business is just a big gamble. So I start gambling, see what it works, see what doesn't work, and yeah, I like it.
A typical day for McLaughlin. He goes online and checks on his businesses, opens up the stock charts, goes to the gym and works out, then plays poker online.
And with pocket aces, he will raise 325 from the button. Kawauch folds to Chris Lind in the big blind, 9-8 off.
A typical day for Lind. Wakes up at 2 in the afternoon, goes home, then tries to figure out which clubs he'll go to that night.
He's got a twin brother named Alex who plays a little poker, not quite as successfully as Chris. Lind will make the call here from the big blind. Heads up, the 2 big guns at this table. 10-6-6, 2 hearts. Lind with a gut shot. McLaughlin with aces up. Check to McLaughlin. No free cards for any aces cracking wannabes. 410,000. Lind makes the call.
Lind calling the flop, hoping to hit, but also perhaps he can steal it if McLaughlin slows down or if a heart comes.
Tray of diamonds on the turn. No help to Lind, who checks again.
Lind, another big stack splashing around unnecessarily, but he's a splasher by nature.
McLaughlin not going to slow down, it appears. That is 875,000.
As I mentioned, Mark-Etienne not slowing down. A heart didn't come on the turn, so maybe Lind's just thinking about having Jay Farber hook him up at Hakkasan tonight.
Chris Lind taking his time, finally does fold. McLaughlin will take that pot with the pocket aces. And Lind still in the top 5, but disappointed. Got to keep the big picture in mind. Nobody can win the main event here on day 7, but, you know, there's a lot of value just making the November 9.
Clean living pays off, though I still can't figure out how a tattoo artist like McLaughlin can be as clean as a whistle.
All right, let's go from that table to the outer table. Two big hands clashing. Max Coleman just flopped bottom set, but Matt Reed just flopped middle set.
About 5. Oh, jeez. Medic to table 374. Medic to table 374. No reason to wait for actual blood to be spilled. Let's get over there right now because we can see it coming.
Reed with the raise to $1.25 million. Coleman has him out chipped by about $1.6 million. Coleman shoves. Reed calls all in.
Reed at risk, but this is for most of Coleman's stack.
Coleman can't believe it. Reed says, I finally get lucky.
Set over set kills off more young poker stacks than anything else out there.
Max Coleman, the Wichita pro, still shaking his head at his misfortune. 8 of clubs puts a straight draw on the board.
So with a river 10, they would chop it. Only the last 7 in the deck would knock out Reed.
River card is the queen of clubs. No relief to Coleman. A set over set, double up for Matt Reed.
Yeah, no offense to Kansas, but it feels like Ohio should win pots like that. I'll explain why in the director's cut.
A crushing blow to Coleman. He'll part with more than 3/4 of his chips. Reed now among the top 9 with nearly $11 million. Back at the secondary table, we get another look at Marc-Etienne McLaughlin now, a French-Canadian living in Montreal. Marc-Etienne, a tattoo artist with a couple of impressive businesses on the side, and he's friends with 2010 main event champ Jonathan Duhamel.
Nice kid, but I hate the double underscore in his Twitter handle. You got to tell people go underscore, Irish underscore, go. Geez, it's easier to send a message in a bottle.
Marc-Etienne with 7 tray of spades in the cutoff. And he wants to play. A raise to 325.
McLaughlin now with a little Morgenstern-itis, Linsanity-itis.
The Brazilian pro, Kawauch, folds 9-8. Chris Lynn gives up his small blind. Ryan Reese in the big blind from East Lansing, Michigan, now lives in Las Vegas. 2 jacks.
He used to deal for fellow Michigan State grad in November 9, Bubble Boy Dean Hambrick at his charity poker room. Ryan says dealing helped him play better poker.
23-year-old with a big pocket pair and a shorter stack. And a re-raise to 765.
He raises it 440,000. McLaughlin's cards are so bad, I don't know if he could withstand a 450,000 chip raise, but you know, 440 he might be able to handle.
And 440 is what he can handle. He wants to play. So heads up, the jacks and the 7 tray of spades. 4 king 10, 2 spades. Reese is still best with the jacks. McLaughlin flops a flush draw.
Reese with a bachelor's degree in hospitality business, hopes to manage or own a casino one day.
He is wary of something and checks.
McLaughlin also studied business in college, hopes to have a tattoo one day.
They both check. 8 of spades, and just like that, it's a spade flush for McLaughlin. Wow.
It's the jack of clubs, not the jack of spades, son. And that's the jack of diamonds. You know, that's why I always write down my hole cards on a piece of paper so I don't forget them.
Wow, from meager holdings, McLaughlin turns the flush. Reese checks.
You see, McLaughlin didn't even check his hole cards again. He remembered he had spades.
He doesn't sit on it, 900,000. And now Reese.
Drawn dead.
Wondering what this French-Canadian is up to.
Drawn dead.
Yeah. Say goodbye to that 900,000.
Yeah, pocket jacks find yet another way to lose chips.
It's amazing. River card, 9 of spades, another spade. Could make things interesting. Ryan Reese with just the pocket jacks. But wow, getting busy.
Wow, are you serious?
$1,325,000.
Well, that's seemingly a perfect card for Reese to bluff at, given McLaughlin's hand. And Reese with the right idea, it looks as if McLaughlin already is convinced the beast has a big spade in his hand.
McLaughlin now just playing the 7 of spades is squirming.
McLaughlin rooms with Yevgeny Timoshenko in the offseason.
Well, he's not the Hollywood type. He's really thinking about a call. Back in a moment. Welcome back. Marc-Etienne McLaughlin turned a flush holding the 7 tray of spades, but a 4th spade hit the board on the river, prompting Ryan Reese to bluff at it, putting McLaughlin into the tank.
McLaughlin's been thinking about this one nearly 3 minutes. The average tattoo takes about 15 minutes to an hour, depending on design.
McLaughlin has really been put to the test by young Ryan Reese here.
I call.
He makes the call, reckless or brilliance. It doesn't really matter. McLaughlin will win it.
Good call.
Gutsy play by Reese. Gutsy call by McLaughlin. Something just didn't add up, like being a tattoo artist and not having any visible tattoos.
An invigorating win for Marc-Etienne McLaughlin, while Reese is left with just 13 big blinds, 2.1 million chips. As Marc-Etienne McLaughlin, with a gutsy call, as you mentioned, Norman, cruises past Lind into the 4-hole. He now sits with 15.6 million chips. Anton Morgenstern's chips are still in first place, but those chips are now in the stack of Mark Newhouse. Still 21 players in the field.
And I'm still stunned by Morgenstern's swift fall from the top. First he tried to be the bully, then he didn't get away from a hand against Mark Newhouse that cost him most of his stack.
The blinds are up to 100,000, 200,000, a 30,000 chip ante. McLaughlin wants to stay busy with 7-6 off and a raise to 400,000. And that puts the pinch once again on Bruno Kawauch. He folds.
Uh-oh. When Lind puts the hoodie on, I think he takes on his more natural super aggro alter ego.
Ace-10 for Lind in the small blind.
Lind's played 4 straight main events, made 4 straight day 3s, but 2013 is his first main event cash.
And he's seen McLaughlin is willing to play less than premium hands, as he is, and that's a re-raise to $1,175,000.
Well, Lind playing big stack poker with not quite as big of a big stack as before.
He's queen for Reese. Reese short stacked all in for $2.25 million, gets rid of McLaughlin.
11 big blinds left for Reese. Lind can't like it much, but he's getting 4-1 on a call, and it's for less than 10% of his stack.
I call.
Yeah, it is a cheap call for Lind, and he has Reese at risk, but Reese in good shape here for the double up.
Let's go.
Yeah, Reese has him dominated and lets his rail know.
So Chris Lind looking to get lucky to add to his stack to shorten the field. Ryan Reese trying to double up with ace-queen.
2, 3, 4 of hearts. 2, 3, 4 of hearts.
Here's the flop. 9 tray deuce. Reese still good. The odds just got longer for Lind.
Yeah, Reese has got to like it. The 2 rails are side by side, making it easier for you if you want to switch sides.
Turn card, jack of clubs. Reese still good. 1 card from his double up.
Now split the difference.
Only a 10 knocks out Reese the Beast.
The river card, another jack.
Yes.
And Reese will keep his seat.
Yeah, Reese still only with 25 big blinds, but it feels darn good.
It feels like a brand new tournament for Ryan Reese. He picks up almost $3 million in that last hand. For Chris Lind, well, he may have to mind his P's and Q's a little closer going forward. He does sit in 8th place, though. A deep run at the main event can have a big impact on any player. Ryan Reese spoke to us about how his life is changing already.
It honestly hasn't hit me yet. Like on Facebook and Twitter, it's just blowing up. Like so many new followers and friends, and all my friends and family are watching and cheering me on. And it hasn't hit me that like it's the biggest poker tournament in the world yet, really. It probably will afterward, but I'm just trying to stay focused and relaxed and take it one day at a time.
You started playing poker in 8th grade with friends in the basement. Always the basement, Lon. Why not the dining room or the back porch?
Chris Lind with pocket aces here.
He can use pocket aces right about now.
Indeed. 425 is the raise from Lind. Ryan Reese, fresh from his double up, will not play.
Small blind, big blind, super blind, Lon. More blinds, more action, more fun. 3 blinds are better.
Folded around to McLaughlin in the big blind, ace-4 of diamonds.
My off-Broadway musical, There's No Place for the Weak Ace, opens next month in Silver Spring, Maryland.
And there's a call.
It's going to be at the Silver Spring stage. They don't even know it yet.
They don't even know it yet. I like it. All right, heads up, aces and ace-4 suited. Here is the flop. 5-4-4. What a flop for McLaughlin.
Well, it looks like there's no place for the weak ace. Might close after opening night.
I think so. McLaughlin checks his trips.
A great-looking flop for Lind. I mean, what are the chances McLaughlin has a 4?
And with aces up, he bets 575. McLaughlin now with the big hammer. Mark Etienne trying to ding Chris Lind's stack even more here. Check raise to $1.3 million.
And this hand already reminds me of the Morgenstern-Newhouse clash that toppled Anton.
And Lind appears to want to step right into it.
I think Lind still likes his hand.
Well, he does make the call.
Yeah, he's hoping that McLaughlin offers at it again on the turn of the river, and he can just keep calling him down.
Turn card, 7 of clubs. McLaughlin still a big favorite, 98-2. Still with chips in hand. And Chris Lind may be fine with that. 2.1 million.
Yeah, but Chris Lind's now in the tall grass, and he might go from knee deep to neck deep if he carries on. I see no reason why he wouldn't carry on.
Well, Mark Etienne will see how committed Lind is right here. There's the call. And the 2 big stacks at this table have built a pot of almost 8 million. 9 of clubs on the river. 3rd club on a paired board. And lavender flashing again. 3.1 million from McLaughlin.
Yeah, Mark's with that. 3.1. 3.1 million.
Call.
Call.
Ace 4.
Chris makes the call.
Ace 4 is good for 14 million chips.
And McLaughlin takes down a big pot, and Lind's stack is cut down to size.
A small investment from the big blind with a weak ace hits pay dirt. Chris Lind, the former big stack, going the way of Anton Morgenstern, down to just 23 big blinds. And with that pot, Mark Etienne McLaughlin crosses the 20 million chip barrier. Everything going perfectly for the French Canadian here on day 7. Tonight's bracelet moments are presented by PokerNews.com. $1,500 buy-in no-limit hold'em was the most popular type of event this summer as bracelets were handed out at a rapid pace. Among those collecting gold were college football player Jonathan Taylor, Greek pro Athanasios Polychronopoulos, college professor Corey Harrison, Canadian student Jason Duvall, Texas native Jared Hamby, British veteran Barney Boatman, and Kansas pro Brett Schaefer. The players left in the main event, all thinking about $8.3 million at the end, one of the largest first-place prizes in World Series history.
And to be honest, Lon, if I won the thing, I would invest in municipal bonds before I'd buy into the main event for the next 835 years.
Outer table, Amir Lehovut showing his ace-jack, the shove called by the pocket kings of Matt Reed.
Lehovut with 10 big blinds left, Reed calling off less than 20% of his stack.
Here's the flop. And there's an ace. Lehovut flops a game changer. It's Reed looking for help.
Reed feels the sting of that ace. Lehovut feels the rush.
The 10 is not a king, Norman, so Reed's still behind.
Only a king would bust Amir Lehovut.
River card, another 10. A double up for Amir Lehovut, but he can't sit idly by. His chip stack still pretty darn low. Reed finding it difficult to take 2 steps forward.
Lehovut, once a junior chess champion. I don't know if you can suck out in chess, Lon. Maybe that's why he transitioned to poker.
Want to know more about your favorite players? Head over to ESPN.com/poker. At the featured table, Jay Farber on the button has ace-10 offsuit. Argentinian nightclub owner Fabian Ortiz opened the pot for $400,000 with pocket nines. Farber makes the call.
See, if there were small blind, big blind, super blind, we might have 3 more players entering this pot.
Small blind, Mark Newhouse, ace-jack, tournament chip leader makes the call. J.C. Tran in the big gets rid of his cards. 3 players will see the flop. Ortiz ahead with his pocket nines. The flop, tray 5 deuce of clubs. Newhouse and Farber have wheel draws. Mark's flush draw is no good. He checks. Ortiz's pocket nines are still best and bet $600,000. Now Farber with monster draws.
The Farber's got the nut flush draw and a straight flush draw. That's a VIP flop for a VIP host.
Excellent.
Come on.
He says all in for almost 3.7 million. Newhouse folds.
Can't blame Jay there. He's under 20 big blinds, and he might win it right here. It's for more than 1/4 of Ortiz's remaining stack. He's got pocket nines and a flush draw that's no good.
Ortiz postures up and makes the call. Farber, though, the one favored here.
Yeah, look at the percentages. Pocket nines under siege.
Come on. So many outs. So many outs. He has nines. Club 4, ace, or 10. Just a club.
Just a club. Is that asking so much?
Farber knows clubs. Another deuce on the turn keeps Ortiz in the lead, and Farber on the hook.
Well, and he still has so many outs, 16 of them for Jay, but now just one card to come.
One time?
There you go.
I'll use my one time now.
Yeah, might as well.
We're going to use it again.
The river card. One time! There's the club for Jay Farber.
You're a brave man for waiting until the turn to use it.
Yeah, I know.
I would have used it.
I got so many outs on the flop. I can't use it on the turn. I got one card.
I don't think I would use it on the flop. I'd wait. I think waiting is the right play.
I think waiting's the right play.
Yeah, I think waiting's the right play.
I'm chicken. I use it right away.
So many outs on the flop. I got 2 cards. They hit like 17 outs.
I mean, to be honest, with my ace-queen, or which one was it?
Ortiz drops to 10th place. A third of his chips will go clubbing with Jay Farber.
I'm out of one times.
Yeah.
We're both out of one.
Two people at this table.
Two people at this table have used their one time.
The one-time work. Jay Farber's river luck keeps the main event field at 21. As day 7 of the World Series of Poker main event hits the backstretch, former shoo-ins for the final table have faded dramatically. As chip leaders fall, new ones emerge, including the current top stack tattoo artist Mark-Etienne McLaughlin.
I don't even realize what I'm in, and I think it's why I'm successful. For me, it's just one poker tournament, and maybe after I'm gonna realize what it's really mean.
With the ink about to dry on day 7, can Mark-Etienne hang on to his lead, or will he suffer the same fate as chip leaders that came before him? Back in Las Vegas, the 2013 World Series of Poker main event has just 21 players remaining. I'm Lon McCarron with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. We head over to the only outer table, 2 Texans locking horns. Bar owner James Alexander with ace-deuce suited, open raise for $425. It may cost him more because David Benefield has pocket aces and a short stack and is all in.
Alexander's got 15 million chips, so he can afford this if he's in the mood.
I may gamble here, too.
Sounds like he's in the mood.
Yeah, sure. I call.
A call, and Benefield loves to hear that.
I can still hit a flush if diamonds come. Or a 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I can still be a rocket if I grow a new pair of legs. Alexander had told Benefield he was the one guy he didn't want to knock out.
Poker pros Brian Hastings and Jason Kuhn on David's rail. Alexander trying to knock out Benefield by coming from way behind. Here's the flop. Trace 7, king 2, diamonds. A flush draw for Alexander.
It's never easy, Lon. This country wasn't built on easy flops.
Alexander trying to ride his momentum. Turn card now is a 2, giving Alexander 2 more outs.
Don't let it be this way.
Usually is, brother.
The river card, another 7 secures Benefield's win, bringing him 6.2 million chips. David Benefield keeps his seat. Not a huge hit to Alexander, but not a good time to be trending downward.
Well, I was hoping to speed up the tournament, boys. Two people got lucky. I mean, they had the best hands.
His bar is the Flying Walrus. At the moment, he's more like a sad seal.
I have a feeling I'm gonna win the next one.
Around the room, some other big stacks. VIP host Jay Farber nearing 13 million. Cash game pro Mark Newhouse over 17 million. Sylvain Lousli representing France well, but it's a French-Canadian in the chip lead, Marc-Etienne McLaughlin. 21 players right now remaining at this 2013 main event, 8 players above the average stack of 9 million.
3 of the top 5, McLaughlin, Farber, and Alexander. Poker not their primary business, but they're acting like it is.
Morgenstern under the gun at this featured table, folds. Farber looks down at Jack 5, gives it up, as does Newhouse on J.C. Tran, the California pro and 2-time bracelet winner with ace tray of spades, raises to 425. Folded to the small blind, Fabian Ortiz with jacks.
Fun fact for you, everyone knows Wild Bill Hickok was holding aces and eights when he was shot to death, but he was playing pocket jacks 5 months earlier when he decided to get married.
Ortiz calls with the jacks. In the big blind, Sylvain Lousli with queen jack.
Frankly, I always thought Wild Bill and Calamity Jane would have made a nice couple.
Absolutely. Lousli calls. So 3 players will see the flop. Right now, Ortiz's jacks in the lead. 5-10 queen. Jacks take a nosedive for Ortiz because Lousli hits top pair. Check, check to Tran.
People who go to work every day find a way to smile now and then. How come poker players take themselves so seriously? Lighten up. Geez, you're playing poker.
8.3 million for first. You know, it's not all happy times. Ace high and ever hopeful. JC bets 640. Ortiz with the jacks.
Why do you always defend the other people?
Wants to come along. Lousli now. With the biggest stack at this table, he and Newhouse beginning the hand with 17 million. And Lousli with top pair. And this French pro just with a call.
Lots of mistakes made already in this hand, Lon, and I'm not even in it.
The turn card. Now 3 players still in it. Ace of hearts, and the turn smiles on J.C. Tran. Ortiz checks his jacks again. Lousli checks his queens.
Boy, Tran running luckier here than the Sacramento Kings did in Game 6 of the 2002 NBA playoffs against the L.A. Lakers.
You remember that far back?
The Kings have never forgotten that game.
Tran with a bet of $1,255,000.
Ortiz with a clinic on how not to play pocket jacks. Didn't raise pre-flop, called on the flop when he was second best, and now he is third best.
And JC betting from a position of power. A fold from Ortiz.
Lousli can be quite sticky.
Sylvain wondering why JC is betting on the turn, and he does fold, and rightly so.
Good fold.
JC will take that pot, but both Ortiz and Lousli had opportunities to end that hand early. JC Tran over 14 million.
And JC Tran with a clinic on how to play the weak ace. Spike an ace on the turn.
Being at the final 3 tables guarantees you 285 grand. Being in the final 3 worth at least 3.7 million. Making wise choices under pressure is critical, and James Alexander facing another all-in with ace deuce. Rep Porter shoved with 9s.
Just wish I had won one of those before.
Please don't tell me Alexander is actually thinking of calling here. Alexander becoming an ace deuce savant.
Capable of anything, right? I call.
Okay, then.
Oh, wow.
I have an ace. I hope I hit an ace.
He needed 4 million to call Porter down.
I just have ace deuce again. I just need an ace. Just one.
Could have been king, queen, king, jack.
Just give me an ace. Anybody fold an ace? I don't think anybody did, right?
Rep Porter at risk. Alexander in harm's way again.
Time for a brother-on-brother pep talk. Porter, the 2-time bracelet winner, got his chips in good.
After you win this, quit raising light, because that's all they're waiting on. This is a tournament strategy. When the blinds get so deep, they're just going to re-raise every time and hope it's over.
I almost said it would have been the same thing.
Yeah, that's basically your only choice.
All right, here's the flop. Porter at risk.
So they're trying to give you.
An ace for James.
It's about time I win a race.
But this wasn't a race.
Porter grasping for hope.
You
Stop gambling with them?
No, quit re-raising pre-flop. Quit being these little raises pre-flop. Because they're just trying to steal you. That's $1 million dead every time.
Only a 9 saves rep.
They get away with it 3 times. They've doubled their stack.
The river card is a 9. Porter Alexander spikes the two-outer to survive.
Yes. Let's go, baby.
Wow.
Let's go. Yes. Yes.
Alexander was due to lose a race. That's one sad brother and a sadder brother.
Team Alexander takes the hit.
Like warm-up exercise level, not quite peak exercise level.
Rep Porter over $9 million.
I can't win one of these coin flips. You gotta win them to win the tournament.
It's quite a 9.
That was a huge 9. That's a tournament changer. That's 10 million there that should have been here.
He just might be following in Morgenstern's footsteps.
Capable of anything, right? I call. I have an ace. I hope I hit an ace. Ace. It's about time I win a race.
Yes. Yes. Let's go, baby.
That was a huge 9. That's a tournament changer. That's 10 million there that should have been here.
Alexander has the math right. A massive river 9 changes the fate for now of James Alexander and Rep Porter. Back at the feature table, Mark Newhouse sits with the biggest stack. Morgenstern the smallest. Newhouse, whose nickname is Newhizzle, says he doesn't like pro sports. Probably saved him a lot of money in his circle of friends. A race of $400,000 with Jack 8. J.C. Tran, Queen Jack of Diamonds, does like pro sports and the Sacramento Kings.
Touche.
Tran makes the call to Sylvain Loosely now with 2 red 7s.
Loosely says he was feeling the pressure and didn't sleep well before day 6, but then after he got lucky, hitting a runner-runner straight for most of his chips against Daynard Pettit's pocket aces, he felt like day 7 is a free roll.
And that's a call from Loosely with the 7s. Morgenstern with King Queen in the big blind. 200,000 more makes 4 players. We'll see the flop.
Attention, Anton Morgenstern is in a pot. All chips in his stack need to be on high alert.
9-9 deuce, 2 diamonds. Pocket 7s keep their lead for Loosely. He checks. Morgenstern checked. Newhouse likewise.
I don't think J.C. Tran's gonna check.
This is J.C. Tran's moment. No, he checks as well.
Thanks, J.C.
With the flush draw. Turn card 7 of clubs. Loosely turns a full boat to slam the door on the other 3. He checks again. Morgenstern also. Newhouse checks.
I don't think J.C. Tran's gonna... Oh, why bother?
Here we go. Free river card. 10 of spades. Loosely's opponents were already drawing dead, but that 10 gave Newhouse a jack-high straight.
Yeah, Loosely's check on the turn will pay dividends on the river.
How much value can he get? He bet 750,000, less than half the pot. Morgenstern's gone.
If I'm Mark Newhouse, I'd be dead certain here I've got the best hand with the nut straight.
And Newhouse appears to be thinking as you do, and that's dangerous.
Good for you.
A raise to $2 million from Newhouse. Tran folds. Now back to Loosely.
And here's another man who's dead certain he has the best hand, and he does.
Sylvain Loosely with the full house. Newhouse with the straight.
Raise 4.8.
There you go. Announcing his strength. 4.8 million.
Newhouse does not like the sound of that. And that raise sounded even more daunting with a French accent, I believe.
Boy, Newhouse in a quandary. He and Loosely with pretty even stacks. Newhouse starting with 17 million. Loosely with 16 million. And Newhouse gives it up. One solid fold.
And he didn't even wait for Loosely to complete his bet. Still putting chips in the pot.
Mark Newhouse with a very strong fold, saved himself a lot of chips, while Sylvain Loosely now is knocking on the door of 20 million. Well, we thought Newhouse's fold was a good one. Here's what Antonio Esfandiari and Phil Locke thought about that.
Well, this is textbook poker, boys and girls. Really, everything's in line with solid winning poker. Newhizzle, chip leader, jack 8 of clubs, real hand, raises, things happen. We get to the river, and...
Tell us how you really feel.
On the river, he makes a great fold. I mean, he raises for value, and then he folds correctly. It's...
Whenever you're done.
I was done. I get passed off a second ago.
You have to give Mark credit for folding. He made a value raise and realized his hand was no good. A lot of players would make a frustration tilt call right there, but he just realized that his opponent would never raise without a boat, and so
just folded the straight. So fantastic laydown.
Yep.
Here's my analysis. Usually Antonio does the heavy lifting, and Phil then agrees with him. This time, it was the other way around.
All right, let's check in on that active outer table. David Benefield open shoved from the small blind with ace tray off. He has big blind Max Coleman covered. Coleman pondering queen jack of hearts. Max Coleman squirming in his seat. Coleman makes the call to put himself at risk.
Boy, I don't know about that call. 20 big blinds left for Coleman, calling with queen jack suited. It's probably the right tournament decision. I couldn't do it.
Benefield ahead pre-flop.
I think you're going to win this, and if I don't catch your hand right, you're going to be the last guy from Texas standing.
There's one odd Texas connection. I can't imagine Benefield walking into Alexander's bar and say, talking to brother Dwayne.
What is going on? This is the main event, and people are coming up with queen jack. I thought I was just dead. Yeah, I was like, so I say, it's like at sevens or something.
Max Coleman at risk.
All right, here's the flop. A deuce 10-4. Coleman, the Wichita native, not happy. Benefield's ace high with a wheel draw, a 3-1 favorite. Benefield getting some counseling from Jason Kuhn.
To lock it up on the turn.
A 5 would indeed end the hand right now in Benefield's favor. And the turn card does just that.
You locked it up, brother. You won. Come on back forward.
Benefield turns the straight and knocks out Max Coleman.
David Benefield started day 7, 27th in chips out of 27 left. He is now 7th in chips with 20 left.
Nuts is good. I shot 20X.
For double X, Max Coleman, 21st place and his first ever live 6-figure score.
See, at least my chips went to the right place against. I double him up, give it to you. You're good.
Back inside the Amazon room at the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, and back at the feature table with 20 players remaining. Anton Morgenstern with ace-king just saw Fabian Ortiz try to limp in and see a flop. We've all got dreams. So action on Morgenstern. A one-time dominating chip leader, no longer. There is the race to 575. Morgenstern and Alexander seem to be racing each other towards bankruptcy.
Here it'll be the man who loves disco music versus the man who loves electronic music. And when you're running bad like Anton, people like to play pots against you. You're more likely to keep running bad or make bad decisions.
Ortiz makes a call for 375 more, so heads up with the 2 short stacks at this table. Boy, it's amazing to say that. All right, here's the flop. Jack Queen 4. Ortiz scores top pair. Morgenstern a Broadway draw. Ortiz has the action. He checks.
At this point of the main event, Lon, if I were Anton, I'd leave the Amazon room, walk up and down the strip 5 times, then come back in here later tonight. Whatever chips are blinded off while he's gone can't possibly equal whatever chips he's going to lose playing pots right now.
All in. Cool.
Morgenstern put Ortiz all in, and Fabian makes the call.
It's easy to think a guy in a vest never has anything, but in this case, you'd be mistaken. Ortiz calls for his last 8 big blinds.
It is Ortiz at risk, but he's the one who flopped top pair. Morgenstern looking to try to take out a shorter stack, and there's not many of them in the room. King of hearts pairs both, does not change Anton's outs.
Morgenstern needs an ace or a 10 to knock out Fabian Ortiz.
The river card. The 4 of clubs. Ortiz tries playing for the minimum and ends up getting paid the maximum.
And Lon, I've got to hand it to the 22-year-old Morgenstern. He does not change countenance even as his whole main event collapses in front of him.
And Norman, it's official. Morgenstern and James Alexander, the 2 short stacks in the main event right now. Fabian Ortiz knocking on 5 million chips, 24 big blinds for the Argentinian. Back to respectability, though plenty of work to do for Ortiz. He's a nightclub owner who loves disco music. That sounds great, but Phil Hellmuth is his favorite player.
Phil is big in Argentina. This is not good. The poker brat with South American reach. Next thing we'll hear is that he's become friends with Lionel Messi.
The interesting thing is that Phil Hellmuth's favorite player is Phil Hellmuth. Ortiz right. Now wakes up with pocket aces right after his double up, and he's going to raise it up to 400,000.
Ortiz finished 298th in the 09 main event.
Loosely folds to Morgenstern, ace-jack, and yeah, that's all in for almost $2.5 million from Morgenstern.
12 big blinds and awful timing for Anton's ace-jack.
Cue the swan song. And a quick call from Ortiz, and he's about to take the rest of Morgenstern's chips.
Well, Newhouse took the big chunk from him a while back. Ortiz trying to take the rest of Morgenstern's chips in 2 straight hands.
It's like overwhelming chip leader.
After the first break, he is a huge chip leader. He's like, basically, if he didn't play...
You know how our first level went? That's how this guy's second and third level.
You can't believe it. I can't believe it. None of the other players can believe what they're seeing.
He would have made the final table and probably, like...
I mean, he would have...
At least moved up.
Morgenstern at risk. The flop, 4-trade deuce brings a chop into play.
Anton's run into some big hands, but he also hasn't played well. He had almost 30 million chips. If you go to the final table with almost 30 million, you're probably a top 3 stack.
Turn card 6 of spades. Now Morgenstern can only hope for a chop.
Yeah, Morgenstern can only stay alive with a river 5 to chop the pot.
The river card is a 9.
Good game, guys.
Ortiz wins the pot, completes the remarkable main event arc that saw Anton Morgenstern go from final table lock to main event footnote.
And how about Ortiz? Back-to-back hands from all in with 8 big blinds left to almost 8 million chips.
So sick.
Fabian Ortiz closes the book on the German hard luck story. Morgenstern stoic at the table. And there you witness a shred of the pain the 22-year-old is racked with right now.
Yeah, he's crestfallen, and you got to be heartbroken for him.
So one former Top Gun is out, and now another former hefty stack is at risk. James Alexander called all in with ace-9 after fellow Texan David Benefield forced the issue with king-queen off. So Alexander trying to save his day 7 as his family looks on. Here's the flop. 10-6-9, Alexander pairs
You're
up.
still very much alive. No paint.
All little, all little.
Gut shot for Benefield.
Simmer down now. Simmer down.
Alexander talked about not wanting to bust Benefield. Benefield might bust him now.
Yeah, maintain it.
Turn card, another 10.
Maintain
Alexander
it.
still
Keep
in
it
line
low.
for the double up.
Anything low. Most of the cards left in the deck are low. Let's do it. I let you buy back out for $700,000 right now. You take some dealer.
King, queen, or jack ends James Alexander's main event.
The river card is a 7, and that will keep James Alexander in the game.
Card of a beautiful thing.
Benefield will pay off the small in and still be left with 42 big blinds. Alexander gets to keep his chair.
I've got sunshine. Because it's cold outside.
Flying walrus still flying low, but still flying.
Oh, it'll warm up, I hope.
Benefield takes the hit, but left with $8.5 million.
I will survive as long as I know how to love.
James, I think, has been hanging around the
I know
jukebox
I'll
at
be
the Flying Walrus a little too much. The 2013 World Series of Poker is brought to you by the WSOP online store Dealt by Lids. For poker equipment, gear, and gifts, visit WSOP.lids.com today. The view from the Rio overlooking the Las Vegas Strip. Inside the Amazon room, Las Vegas VIP host Jay Farber, the new toast of the town. He'll fold his suited connectors. Mark Newhouse needs makeup chips after making Farber the chip leader with Jack 10, a raise to 425. Tran with pocket 5s. And he'll make the call.
I am renewing my call for Norman Chad Hold'em, Lon. 2-card flop, then a turn, a peekaboo, and a river. Get on board, folks.
Folded to the big blind, Sylvain Luzli with lots and lots and lots of chips, and 8-7 off and a call. 3 players. Newhouse favored with the Jack 10 right now. Here is the flop. Jack 10-5. Newhouse with top 2. A gut shot for Luzli. A set of 5s for Tran. A check from Luzli. Newhouse bets 475 with a nice hand, but it's Tran with the big one.
And remember comedian Don McHenry's foolproof theory of poker, a 10 always helps somebody. Here it helped and hurt Mark Newhouse.
Just a call with the set from Tran. Loosely folds his draw, so heads up.
About 10 million.
About.
The two Commerce Casino buddies head-to-head.
Turn card, ace of diamonds. Tran still best.
Check.
Newhouse checks.
Newhouse and Tran have played a lot of 200, 400, 300, 600 limit hold'em at the Commerce in LA. Rep Porter, still in this main event, also plays with them a good deal.
JC Tran trying to earn some chips with a set of fives, bets 925,000.
Tough spot for Newhouse. Flops top two, and now Tran is betting on the turn, and that ace is one of the worst looking cards in the deck for Mark.
Well, we've seen Newhouse get away from some big hands. It looks like he'll commit the chips here to see a river card.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he called there. He knows JC well. He's got to figure he's probably beat here.
River card, tray of diamonds, puts a third diamond on the board.
Check.
Check to Tran. JC with the best hand, a stack of lavender. That's 2 million.
Oh, you should have gone broke.
And a fold and a show from Newhouse.
Wow.
Tran shows.
We could have got it in on the flop.
Oh, I bet he folded. I know. Oh, okay.
Yeah. We could have got it in on the flop.
I had a set of fives.
That's pretty sick.
Newhouse
Yeah, but I
fortunate. He's gone there if they get it all in on the flop.
That's not the flop that I wanted.
Back now to James Alexander. He's all in with ace-7, waiting on Amir Lehovut with ace-10.
Don't have king jack.
He's deciding whether or not he wants to be the one that doubles me up, or whether or not it's just time to gamble and get me out of here.
Amir can afford it, and given Alexander's play and style, this should be an automatic call.
One of the two is going to happen, though, if he calls.
Amir with 14 million chips.
Oh, I'll take a walk. You can fold.
That might convince Amir to call.
I call.
Good luck, sir. What do you have?
There it is.
You have me crushed. I have to spike a 7. I have ace-7.
Alexander committed way too many chips on day 7 with weak aces. And now he's going to need a little walrus luck, assuming walruses are lucky.
I need a 7.
James Alexander dominated.
I mean, it's out there. It's in the deck.
He's right.
Somewhere.
There are 3 7s left among the 48 other cards in the deck.
I need a 7.
Here's the flop. Amir pairs his
And that's
10.
pretty much all she wrote. As it comes queen jack.
Turn card now, 9 of clubs. Alexander drawing dead. Lehovut wins the pot to send James Alexander off into a very subdued sunset.
Oh, yeah, man.
Amir Lehovut over 17 million now.
Alexander played his way out of the main event, but his bar is going to be in a party mode for a long time. What a wild and wonderful run for James Alexander.
So with his exit, we're down to 18 players. They're going to redraw for new seating at just 2 tables. Sylvain Loosely has the lead back, and as we saw on so many occasions, the chip lead in 2013 is tenuous at best.
So many of these players, Benefield, Ortiz, Porter, Newhouse, Reese, have survived short stacks to hang on. Meanwhile, James Alexander played it like the old Wild Wild West.
Yeah, it's typical. It really just started to play like an online sit and go. I mean, people just open and shoving. And when 4 people open and shove into you for 3 million and 2.5, and they just do it over and over again, and you can't knock out one of them, it's bound to happen, you know? I never looked at the money. I never looked into that. I wasn't trying to hit a bubble or anything. I was trying to win this thing.
The main event is about realizing dreams.
Wow.
But along the way, dreams can be dashed. Anton Morgenstern and James Alexander had designs on million-dollar paydays, but erratic play led to their eliminations.
That's 10 million there that should have been here. Good game, guys.
David Benefield continues his improbable Day 7 climb from last place to contender as play winds down.
Yes. People are coming off with queen jack.
More so than in any other year, it's impossible to predict who will make the final 9, making this main event so compelling. For Norman Chad and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.